Welcome back to another episode of Hermitcraft. We are kicking this one off with a project that I've kind of neglected a little bit. We are supposed to be building a tunnel to iBuy with Impulse, and I've done some prep work here, so you can kind of get a feel for what this might be like, but we are building something big, bold, and impressive, and I really need to pull the trigger and just start building this thing already. It's going to be massive. Please excuse the iron bars. I've got the entrance done and the floor on the opposite side, which was originally going to be out of concrete powder. However, if multiple people are in the nether, mobs can actually spawn in here, so we have carpets. If that was in any way confusing to you, then let's head to the roof of the nether where we have a stupid amount of beacons, and of course we have this thing here. This fills up the mob cap so that other mobs don't spawn inside of the nether hub. But of course the mob cap increases when other players are online, so for that reason we've gone with the carpets to prevent spawning inside of the tunnel. And for easy traversing, when you walk across you get pushed up by the wall blocks that are just hidden below the carpet. Now there are just 2 blocks left to go into this build. We're going to start off with the easiest one, which is gold blocks. Aha, that is quite the sight, isn't it? If I turn around it looks a little obnoxious. That, my friends, is where the portal will end up going. It is a very big and dramatic tunnel that's going to make a bold statement. The last thing to do is to build in the walls, the ceiling, and it's all going to be made out of black concrete. Oh yes, now you will start to understand the vision of this place. However, as the fog kicks in, it's not quite as intended. You can kind of see the pattern of the roof a little bit. And I've left in the beacon beam, and I made all of the concrete except for 1 block. Oh, it's actually really difficult to spot. Just up there's like 1 block missing. And we're missing the portal as well, now I think about it. So when me and Impulse designed this tunnel together, we didn't have the fog effect. And when you walk through like this, it really highlights the roof, but I don't think it's bad at all. I think the atmosphere here is just fantastic. So I've patched up where the beacon used to be, and installed the nether portal, which really is like the crowning touch here. That looks so cool. Gold on the front, gold on the back, and the purple of the portal in the middle. It just doesn't link to anywhere on the other side yet. But I've put in a rather seamless framework for that, and made some adjustments on the other side to bring the wall forward. In the middle sits the obsidian, ready for a portal. So now we just got to link up with Impulse and activate this thing, and it should all be good to go. For now though, the entrance in the nether will remain sealed, but yes, a very curious sight. You can't actually see the portal at the other end. It's kind of mysterious. Well, it feels good to start this one off in a productive stride, getting something done straight off the bat, but I have more to show you. Oh yes, I've been busy taking advantage of our new ender chest setup, which has enabled me to access so many more blocks and do some good old detailing work. And off in the distance, you might notice that things have changed slightly around the Bone Mage Tower. It's been a ridiculously long time, but I have finally finished the shanty town off of the side of this tower. And it does absolutely nothing except just look kind of cool and awesome, right? So yeah, this build is just created with so many different blocks and fine little details, which is, you know, why we needed to do this ender chest organization, just to make builds like this so much easier. And being inspired, I got a little carried away and decided to finish off the hilltop here with a graveyard. Very fitting for this theme. We've also got a few more bone spikes coming out of the ground too. Yeah, it's been a lot of fun just to kind of turn off your brain and place some blocks and have a little fun doing some aesthetic building, and the whole thing is like finished now. It looks so good. But I will say there is an opportunity to do more. I don't know quite what yet, but every time I walk up this staircase or I fly over the top, I always feel like there should be an entrance to something here. I will scratch my brain and see what ideas come to me in the future. It's not a priority to do anything right now. What I want to show you next is a couple of museums that have popped up over in this area. It seems that both Cubvan and Cleo are developing this idea to collect all sorts of different things in the game. They're right opposite one another as well. Cubvan's built his first, so it looks a little more complete. And if we hop on inside, I actually contributed something to a display. Oh wow. This just hit me. I've seen it in Cub's videos, but when you come here in game, it feels a little more special. And yes, Those are lodestones in the floor right there, all made with ancient debris. Ah, and here it is right here. This is the exhibit that I contributed. I think it was that egg right there, a hypno egg. So earlier in the season we had the Easter egg hunt, and now we've got this stand to kind of commemorate that with all of the different Easter eggs. Oh yeah, and the Christmas hat over here. Oh, this is just like a wonderful way to document different events and things that have been happening on the server. Such a great project. I've got to keep my eye on this one. Oh, and Cleo's actually busy working on this right now. I'm not going to disturb her though. What I want to do next is talk about the Ender Chest. I've been reading your comments, gathering your feedback, and I've got some ideas on how I've set this Ender Chest up. Well, actually, you've seen my ideas. I am really happy with how this is set up. There is not too much I'm going to tweak about this. But it's important to understand that my goal, as I said, was to have access to like every single block. But a lot of you pointed out that what I could do is take a stone cutter and then put it in a shulker box with like lots of stone, and then it gives me access to the other blocks. So it does sound like a really good idea, but when it comes to reorganizing your shulker box for all these extra types that you've created, you sort of have to go back to manually filtering them again. So for that reason, I'm going to stick with what we got right here. And after having done some building projects here and there, I have accumulated a fair bit of junk. So what we do next is put all of these up on the wall, and then we're going to run all of that junk through each of these shulker boxes. And now we have our shulker boxes from inside the Ender Chest, and because of the color coding, it makes it kind of like really obvious that they've come from in here. And look at how much space is left around it. I kind of wish I'd built a much bigger one of these. This thing is scalable. You can make it taller, you can make it wider, but we'll have to make do with this for now. And so I've been stashing away that junk from various projects in here. I'm actually going to go ahead and rip all of this out, and we're going to run it through the system. I am very happy because this thing has worked flawlessly. It's emptied the shulker boxes of junk that I put in, and I was monitoring some of the items that went through, and I could tell that they were filling up correctly, so that's all good. But I also went down below and just locked some of the hoppers here before they go into mass storage. And this meant that I could just kind of like analyze the items that didn't get filtered and go and double check things, and everything worked out really well, but also I could see if there were items that weren't in the system, like seeds for example. And seeds are kind of naff, but you can use them to create decorative plants, so at some point I'll find a place for them in our system. And the timing of this project is very deliberate, as we're going to take advantage of our color shulker boxes over here with the next project I'm going to undertake. So at the opposite end of our furnace array area, I've been preparing to build a tunnel that I think has like 7 sections you can see that have been put together that lead to the ice farm. And so over here I will eventually be decorating this area and making it much more interesting, but for that transition we want to go from like the hot red colors over there down to something cool and blue to match the ice farm. So I came up with this color gradient of blocks that we could use to transition each section slowly over to that blue color. And this was when I started to realize that manually assembling all of these different dies and blocks that we needed for the build, this is kind of slow, and why we need a good ender chest system and things like our colored shulker boxes prepared in advance. So now I can come over here to the wall, I can grab the colors that I need, and then also other materials. We're going to use some terracotta in this one, so I can just pick up this box, and it makes my life so much easier. So just before we get started, I need to go and farm and get my hands on some leaves. It's like the only thing that I don't have for this tunnel. And it turned out that that might not actually be the first thing that I want to do, so I've come in here and I put terracotta in the roof. The leaves are actually going to cover most of that up, and then we've got some of our materials for the floor, just trying to transition through the various different colors. It looks really good so far. Oh, and yes, we have this problem. A couple of beacon beams that I can't really move going directly through the tunnel. Fortunately, I've installed some redstone to shut that off when we want to, and I can hit the lever to turn it back on again. The redstone is kind of interesting though, because this lever, it isn't actually like turning the beacons on and off. What it's just doing is it's creating an update through a line of redstone. So looking at the redstone here up top, if I hit the lever, we actually just create a pulse, and that controls a T flip-flop. And as you can see, this has 2 inputs. The other one is all the way down here in David Copperfield. You can see the redstone wire goes up to where we were just a moment ago. And there is actually an identical setup elsewhere in the base for this. It's to control these beacons over in the furnace array area. And again, down in the Copperfield, there is another lever over here to control those beacons. And there's also a sign telling us how many blocks we get out of a full harvest of all of these copper blocks, which I need to do again, it seems. So I've gathered my leaves and gone on somewhat of a leaf block placing frenzy, which I might come back and tweak and adjust a few spots as time goes by, but off the bat here, it feels really good. I like how this is shaped up so far. And I kind of prefer how it looks from this angle as opposed to walking up the other way, but now let's put the final touches on decorations here. We're going to have glazed terracotta going across the sides. And then among the remaining wall space, we're going to mix in some blocks of similar color. We got concrete, we got the powder, got some red terracotta again. Just going to randomize it up, maybe throw in some wall blocks too. And that is looking real nice. We do have a problem with lighting though. So this is where we make use of this resource right here. We have candles and of course we have plenty of dyes. And so now we get to have some really moody lighting here with just some candles randomly placed on either side. And that's the concept. All I got to do now is finish placing all of these blocks so we can enjoy walking through this spectacular tunnel. Oh yes, and that's exactly what we'll be doing right now. Let's not pay attention to these transition points that I still need to figure out. I'll come back and do that at another time. The whole thing just looks gorgeous. And the thing I think that really makes it work is actually the lighting. Definitely gets a little dark in places, but that variation in how strong the colors are because of the light really works down here. And now let's whiz through it the other way, because there's enough room here to fly all the way through, which is just fantastic. And what's even more amazing is tidying up with our new ender chest system, because I've accumulated like a lot of unorganized junk from doing this. I didn't feel like sorting these items back in to here one by one and thinking about it. What I of course am going to do is sort all of this stuff. So yes, everything I used out of my ender chest, like the terracotta and the wall and some of the sand here that got depleted, will just be restocked by using our sorting system. So now at the end of the project, I just have to put my shulker boxes back on the wall of hoppers, and then all of this junk just gets chucked into here, and everything gets sorted again. So if you're sick of all this storage related stuff, well, this next project is about storage too, but this time it's a little bit different. Hello? Is there anyone around here? Hello? Oh my goodness me, look at this architecture. Dang! What an amazing place. And it's full of trash, apparently. Full of trash.
Now that is the kind of voice I'm looking for.
Oh! Oh, you're here!
Xisuma! Hello, 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 welcome.
Ah, hi! I heard that you were in need of a redstone expert.
Oh, I very much am. Although you're kind of triggering me a little bit with this mess you're making on the floor in front of the cleaning lady.
Let me just clean that up. Yeah. There we go. Very good. Very clean.
Thank you. Yes, I am crying inside because I have a little hidden secret in my twinkly trash basement. I am a cleaning lady, but I have a trash monster that is slowly growing.
Blasphemy!
And it's a problem. And I don't know enough redstone to make my own auto-sorting system.
Goodness, this is one of the biggest chest monsters I've ever... You've been hiding a filthy secret down here.
Well, what can I say? It is actually the Hermitcraft's, the Hermit's server trash monster. It's not my own stuff. This is all from the garbage bins that have been dumped.
Wow.
All the resources that could go into our wonderful bases. Instead, they are chucked away, lost, forbidden, going dusty and old.
There's so much useful stuff here, right? One man's trash is another man's cobblestone.
Like,
can I?
Yeah, you see?
Can I have those?
I mean, you got to trade for it, Xisuma. Do you have another item to trade?
I've got redstone.
Something of equal value?
Is it worth
a
beacon?
Value? I don't know. That is your moral counter that has to decide that. That is twinkly trash trade, and
this
that is exactly
this
what
is too much for my
right
little noggin. I'm gonna have to leave those beacons alone. So you need my help. You need the power of redstone to clear out all of these items. I understand exactly what's going on.
I certainly do. Do you have the expertise? In fact, I already know you have the expertise.
Of course I do.
To make an auto-sorting system for the lovely cleaner lady
Oh,
here that
yes.
really needs some help.
a great storage system can be constructed. There's plenty of space down here. This will make a cozy little spot to come down and rummage through some chests, I think.
There is a lot of space, and honestly, if you need more, like, you can dig down, you can dig out in pretty much any direction, because I've kind of taken up this real estate, so it's there as an option.
That totally works. Here's what I'm thinking. You can have some walls of chests over here.
Okay.
Just grabbing things from my neatly organized.
Oh.
Yes, very good.
Oh, I like that. Look, it's even named and it's got brown coloring. Oh my gosh.
Yes.
You're making a cleaner lady happy, Xisuma.
I'm glad. We could have like a wall of chests going up over there, and then another wall of chests over here going up.
Oh, that would be beautiful. That's exactly what was in my brain already. So you're already thinking on the right way.
Wonderful.
You can even put them on this wall if you wanted, just anywhere. So if you come outside real quick, I'm just going to show you a little bit of something. We've got the typical auto-sorting system, and I would like a shulker unloader and just a general item input. But there's also another thing. This giant silo over here, I'm looking for the ability to maybe do a little bit of a water vortex, where people can chuck their items down, and that'll then flow into the system as another way to put their items down there.
A water vortex. I love it. So you throw away your trash in style.
Exactly. Make it a fun experience. Like that's my hope, but I don't know how to do it.
That's a challenge. I will happily accept this challenge. Like, making a water vortex? That sounds like an awesome challenge. I'm so up for this.
We can do it, right? We're Hermitcraft. Like,
we're Hermitcraft. We can do anything if we put our mind to it.
Okay. X, is this going to cost me? Is there a price? Would you like to be paid something? I feel like I need to pay you for your time.
I was so happy to do more redstone, I didn't even think about that. I can't even think of anything to ask for. I like sorting items and keeping things organized, so I am happy to help out.
You know what? I think I have an IOU from you, actually. A long time ago.
Oh, okay. From me?
I think maybe?
So maybe this is your IOU.
Maybe so. I forgot about it. But at the same time, you know, you decide what you want from me. Maybe we can crack up a deal, and it can go both ways. Thank you for answering a cleaning lady's call.
No problem. Let's go over some finer details together, and make sure this thing's going to be, you know, exactly what you want. Aha! Looks like we're building yet another storage system. And if you're not quite sure where this is Twinkly Trash, or at least the extension of it. Pearl's shop here just keeps getting bigger and bigger, and as I fly around here you can probably get a good idea of where it's located. This is actually like a really amazing backdrop for the LA shop that we built earlier in the season. This area is starting to look really built up. And the storage system we're building is a communal one, where Pearl cleans up people's junk, puts it into the sorting system, and we can come down here and take it out, whatever it is we happen to need. So as you can see, I've used my pick, put it to use, and cleared out a giant space down here. And most of that is going to be occupied by redstone. As you can see, now that some of the chests are in place, this room isn't going to be quite as big as the space behind it. These, however, are rows of 15 chests, 5 blocks tall, and when I get some more, I'm going to convert them into double chests. And then all around the back here in this space, a marvel of redstone. And this will be a very similar looking multi-item sorting system by Kaz of Xisuma Games, who has recently released a new and upgraded version of what we got in our base. This is known as the ReCategorizer. And you may have seen that our fellow Hermit Impulse had built a particular design of this. I think it was this one right here. It has a lot more features than we're going to build, and what I needed to do was, you know, trim this thing down and make it purpose fit for the area that we have on Hermitcraft. And it was too much for my little noggin to figure out how to put that all together, so we have Cass to thank for putting together a custom schematic, one that we're going to be building here on the Hermitcraft server. As you can probably imagine though, it will take me some time to gather the resources and build that up. It's something that I'm just going to plug away at between this episode and the next. For the rest of this one, we have a little bit of a challenge that Pearl set for us. So the idea is that items that need to be sorted will get dropped off into this silo, and in the silo will be a water vortex. Let me show you a classic trick with water in this game. If I put it right here, it flows to the lowest point. You're probably not surprised, but if I put a block here, it'll again flow over to the lowest point. But then I can go ahead and remove these blocks. So now it looks rather odd as to why this hasn't flown over the edges. It's because that block hasn't actually received an update. So we can continue to control where exactly this goes, right? We can even make it turn a corner, for example, and then we can make it turn another corner, and once we've done that, we can rip out all of these blocks. And with this, it's possible to make some sort of swirling vortex pattern. But the thing is, it would be pretty crazy to figure out and very easy to make a mistake, break the water streams, which would then break all the other ones surrounding it, and it just feels like one of those things that will end up being a massive time sink. Maybe one day on a live stream I'll come back to the idea and investigate what's possible. For now I've kept it relatively simple, although I've tried to make it so that the slope starts looking kind of shallow and then steepens pretty quick. And with some lighting sources, this thing is black in the middle and it looks so cool. And I've also got some plans to perhaps install like a dropper hidden underground somewhere around here to dispense items into the water in a way that's visual, that'll bring it up and throw it into the middle of this vortex. And then around here we can build a little decorative drop-off point with some chests and hoppers to drag the items underground and automatically dispense them, because the idea is that the players can come over here and, you know, throw their junk in like that. However, if you've got a lot of it, you're definitely going to need like a chest to drop stuff off. Now, the next episode of Hermitcraft is going to be a very special one. I have an absolute amazing mega project that I am more than happy to hype up because I believe it's going to deliver, and I am dead keen on getting started on that. So we got some loose ends here that I'll be showing you the conclusion of real soon. That's going to be it from me this episode. If you enjoyed it, be sure to leave a like. Thanks as always for the support, and I'll be seeing you soon with another episode of Hermitcraft. Bye bye.